Hello, as you can see, I'm not here today, so this will be your review for the quiz. Please get in your packets from yesterday, and I will be doing some of the ones you were to finish. And then I'm going to add a few extra for review before the quiz. You may have the substitute, pause at any time, and replay anything you need. I will try to go very slow, but y'all know I'm a fast speed demon on this thing. So if you need it paused, please ask the substitute to pause it and let you get the info you need so that you'll be ready for the quiz. Okay, I'm going to start with this one. It's in standard form, y equals x squared minus 4x plus 8. I have identified my a as 1, my b as -4, and my c as 8. I'm going to find the line of symmetry first, which is x equals opposite of b over 2a. So that means I'm taking the opposite of -4, which would be +4, over 2 times 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So x equals 2. So we have our line of symmetry. Now to find max or minimum, it's a positive, so it is a minimum. Now we're going to plug in this x into our y. 2 squared minus 4 times 2 plus 8. 4 minus 8 plus 8 leaves me 4. So my point is 2, 4 for my minimum. Now the y-intercept is just your c. So 0, 8 is your y-intercept. Now we have all the points to plot. 2, 4, 0, 8. Now, this is where you go into your calculator, go into y equals and enter x squared minus 4x plus 8, hit graph, and then you can sketch this. This is the vertex, and that's where it's going to go through. So I know it's going to be like this. Okay? 2, 4, 0, 8. Okay. I'll give you a minute to make sure you have it all written down. And remember, to get credit on the quiz, you must fill in all these blocks with work except for this one, and I need to see that you know y equals c. Make sure you have your points written x, y coordinates, x, y coordinates, x and y, x and y. Remember, if I'm on the y, x is 0. Okay, so make sure you have all this work, at least what you filled in for me, because then you can put that line in your calculator, but I need to see that on your paper to get full credit. And you should not miss this graph right here, because you can put it in your y equals and sketch and make sure it matches what you have. Okay, the next one I'm going to do is another standard form, x squared plus 4x plus 3. I'm identifying a as 1, b is 4, c is 3. Now again, this is line of symmetry is what I want. So I'm going to take x equals the opposite of b over 2a. The opposite of b this time is going to be -4 over 2 times 1. So I get a -2. Now, again, I have a positive. So that's my minimum. Plug this x equals -2 in. Now remember, -2 must be in parentheses on your calculator squared in order to get the right answer. Please be careful. Okay, -2 squared is 4, -8 plus 3. So I'm going to get what for my answer? 4 minus 8 is negative 4. Negative 4 and 3 is negative 1. So I got negative 2, negative 1 as my minimum. All right, so I took opposite of b over 2a, negative 4 over 2, got negative 2, plugged it in. Negative 2 squared plus 4 times negative 2 plus 3. Negative 2 squared is 4. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8 plus 3. 4 minus 8 is negative 4 plus 3 is negative 1. Now the y is your c. So 0, 3 is my y-intercept. So now I have my points to graph. Negative 2, negative 1, and 0, 3. Oops, I got to go up one more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we'll do something like that. Okay. Now I'm going to leave it a minute. Make sure you've got all this written down. Again, I cannot stress enough. These boxes must have work to get full credit. I know you can look it up in your calculator and get all of it because we've already been taught how to do that. I need to see that you can do the algebra to get here and understand it. Okay. Line of symmetry again. A, negative 3. B, negative 12. C is 1. X equals opposite of B over 2A. That's going to be 12 over 2 times negative 3. 12 divided by negative 6 is negative 2. X equals negative 2. We have a negative, so it's a maximum. Now plug that in. Negative 3 times negative 2 squared, remember the parentheses, minus 12 times negative 2 plus 1. Okay, negative 3 times negative 2 in parentheses squared minus 12 times negative 2 plus 1. Now, negative 3 times 4 plus 24 plus 1, negative 12 plus 24 plus 1 will give me 13. So my maximum is negative 213. All right, again, opposite of b over 2a to get negative 2, plugged in negative 2. Negative 3 times negative 2 squared minus 12 times negative 2 plus 1. Negative 3 times 4 plus 24 plus 1 gives me negative 12 plus 24 plus 1 equals 13. Now, y-intercept. Y equals c, so c is 1, so 0, 1. Now, graph, negative 2, 13 is going to be up here because we only go to, excuse me, 8, 0, 1. It's a maximum, so I know my graph goes down. So I'm going to sketch it as such, not a very symmetrical shape. Sorry. All right. Make sure you put this in your y equals negative 3x squared minus 12x plus 1, and make sure this graph looks like that. Okay, I'll leave that a minute so you can make sure you have it all. Okay, let's look at a factored form. Okay, now we are going to find x-intercepts. And we know it's factor form because it's in parentheses. Don't forget about this negative in front. All right, x-intercepts, you set these factors equal to 0. Solve for x, so x is negative 2, x is negative 6. Now you add those x's and divide by 2. So negative 2 minus 6 over 2 equals negative 8 over 2 equals negative 4. So x equals negative 4. Now you're going to plug that in to your function. So negative is still out front, don't forget. Let me redo that. Let me do y. Oh, whoa. I did it again. I hit the board. Sorry. Y equals negative 4 plus 2, negative 4 plus 6. Add your x's, negative 2 and negative 6. Negative 8 divided by 2, negative 4. Plug in the negative 4. Don't forget the negative outside. Negative 2 and 2. So that's going to be a positive 4. So we get negative 4, 4. Okay? This is a maximum because it's negative in front. Now, to find your y-intercept, you plug in 0. Okay? So now take y equals negative 0 plus 2, 0 plus 6, negative 2, 6. That's going to be negative 12. All right, so we have all our numbers now to plot. I've got a 0 at negative 2, a 0 at negative 6, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got a maximum at negative 4, 4. It goes down, and I'm at 0, negative 12, so I'm going to hit it down here. Okay, so it's going to look curve down and curve down. Okay, so check your graph, put this in your y equals just like it is, and check the graph to make sure it matches. Okay, add your x's, divide by 2 to find what you plug in to get your max or min, the vertex. Okay. If you didn't have time, tell them to pause it. I'm going to go on to the next one. Okay, we got x minus 5 and x minus 1. So x minus 5 equals 0, x minus 1 equals 0. Set your factors equal to 0. X equals 5, x equals 1. Okay. Find the vertex. You add your x's. So 5 plus 1, excuse me, divided by 2 equals 3. So x equals 3. 5 plus 1 divided by 2. Now plug in 3 minus 5, 3 minus 1, negative 2, and 2. So that would be negative 4. So 3, negative 4. It's a minimum because it's positive. Plug in 0. So we'll end up with negative 5 times negative 1. That's going to be a positive 5. All right. Graphing. I got 5 And yes, these should really, I haven't been doing that. 5, 0, 1, 0, 0, 5, 5, and 3, -4. Okay, so now we've got this sketch. Okay, now I have one more I want to show you. So I'll give you a minute to make sure you got this one, and don't forget to check it in your y equals. Make sure your graph matches and everything is right. Okay, last one I'm going to show you. Okay, I've got f of x equals x plus 2, 4x minus 3. Ignore these. We're going to do x-intercepts and y-intercept, max, min, vertex. Okay. All right. Now, set factors equal to 0 first. So I got x plus 2 equals 0. So that's x equals -2. Everybody good with that one? Now, this one is different. Remember, you're going to add your 3 and get 4x equals 3. And then you have to solve for x. So you divide by 4. And x equals 3/4. So you have -2, 0 and 0.750. Now you're going to plug those in. Well, you're going to add first. So add -2 plus 0.75 and divide by 2. So I'm going to bring up my calculator to do that one. Okay, so we've got -2 plus 0.75 enter divided by 2. It's going to give me -5/8, or the decimal is going to be -0.625. Okay. All right. -0.625. Okay. Now we plug that in. So y equals -0.625 plus 2 times 4 times -0.625 minus 3. So now I'm going to pull my calculator back up and do that math. Okay, so we've got parentheses, -0.625 plus 2 parentheses, parentheses 4, parentheses, -0.625, parentheses, and then I've got a minus 3, parentheses. Okay, and that gives me my fractions. Let me get my decimal. So I would round this to -7.56. So we get -7.56. Okay, so we end up with -6.625, -0.625, and -7.56. Okay, so we're almost at -1, and we're almost at 8, -8. Okay, now plug in 0. Oh, whoops, minus 3. Sorry. So you get 2. 4 times 0 is 0, so you get -3. So that's just y equals -6, or 0, -6. Okay, so we're at -2, 0, We're at 0.750, so almost 1. We're at 0, -6, and we're at -0.6, so almost 1, and then down almost to 8. 8's almost here. Okay, so down in here somewhere. Okay, so now we know it is a minimum. I forgot to say that, positive. So we're going to sketch it going up like so. Okay. Now that one was a little more complicated. We got more decimals in our answers because of the fraction. Be very careful that if you have 4x minus 3, that when you set it equal, you realize you add the 3 and divide by 4. Be careful. Okay. All right. I hope this helps with your quiz. Now your substitute can let you have a few minutes to look over this now that we reviewed, and then you can start the quiz. Hope y'all have a great long weekend. Enjoy, and I'll be back Monday. Thanks.